I've got one, yes sir, big one. No way, no way. That was insane. Holy cow.
Well, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Scaled Up series. This is my series where I'm exploring the world of giant swim baits. And you know what? Over 15 years of bass fishing, I have not spent nearly enough time understanding how big fish target big lures, but this is finally the place that I do that. And the way the series works is I get a mystery box full of 2 different swim baits, usually one hard bait and one soft bait, and it's my goal to learn as much as I can about them, and of course, catch fish on each one on 2 separate days. Now, before we find out what swim baits I'm fishing with today, I want to talk about the giveaway from last video of these 2 swim baits by the company called Blanked. I called it Blanket the whole time. I've got the Munchie Glide and the Striker Shad. I'll be giving both of these away to 2 of you guys at the end of this video. If you're seeing it now, you're a little too late. I will have the winners listed at the end of this video, but I want to open up the brand new box from SWIMBAITS.com. Again, this entire series is brought to you by the fine folks at SWIMBAITS.com. They're an awesome swim bait retailer that sells both garage-made bait makers and mass-produced baits. They are constantly adding new baits to the website, so if you could please shop for your swim baits using those links down below, that would mean a whole lot, as they are the sole sponsor of this series and the guys that make it happen. So with a tape cut, let's open up our box and find out what baits we have this month. And like I said, normally we have one soft bait and one hard bait. That's exactly what we have today. So let's start first with the soft bait. With this bait being the Hallelujah Lure Company Bob's Weedless Bluegill. This thing is an incredibly natural looking, honestly very tall bluegill swim bait. It says here it is the Tasty Bass Snacks, best served with a 5/0 weighted hook. Oh, interesting. It says to bend the gap open slightly for increased hookups. That's a very specific instruction. I'm glad they put it on the package. Now, it does look good in the package. Let's take it out and see if it passes the feel test. And you know what? For a small garage maker, this thing feels like a really unique swim bait. I would say it kind of has like a Citizen Micro type feel. The paddle tail is huge, so it should have a good kicking action, but just like many tall bluegill imitation swim baits, they've got to be tall to actually look like a bluegill, look like a sunfish, but oftentimes these baits actually have trouble swimming straight in the water, so I look forward to seeing the action of this thing as it swims. And I don't know if y'all can see this, but it has an air cavity on the top right there where my pinky is, and I'm not sure if that's where the hook is supposed to poke back through or if that's just there to help the collapsing of the bait when a fish bites down on it. Either way, Hallelujah Lures, you've made a really cool looking bluegill, and I'm a huge fan of tall bluegill soft swim baits, so I look forward to seeing how this thing fishes. And the hard bait for this month is one that I've heard a lot of good things about, and that is the 150 Shad by Henry Barber Swim Baits. I've heard Henry Barber is one of the youngest bait makers in the industry and makes one of the coolest glide baits out there, and man, just by feeling this thing for the first time, that is an awesome looking glide. On the top of the box here, you can see that it is an adjustable weight chamber design for slow float, slow sink, or moderate sink, and I'm just so impressed by how good this thing looks. I mean, the resin job, the paint job, the fact that it comes with hook protectors so I don't hook myself. And something I'm noticing, honestly, that I kind of laugh at, but I'm glad about, is that there's some line tied onto the nose of the bait right now. That tells me this thing was tested before it was ever sent to my doorstep. To me, this looks just like a natural Texas gizzard shad. Matter of fact, probably a gizzard shad anywhere in the country, and I'm excited to get these 2 baits on the water. And honestly, I have no idea which one I'm gonna start with, but as usual, we have some more learning about how each one of these baits is designed and how it's meant to be fished from our good friend John. So let's get to the studio. Well, John, we are 5 boxes into this challenge. What's your take then on the Scaled Up series so far?
I have absolutely loved it, Tyler. I think the cool thing is I feel like I'm on a journey with you going through it, and I love the honesty of it. You know, there are times where swim bait fishermen, we don't catch a thing. I mean, that's just one of the challenges of fishing big baits sometimes, and I love that it's just honest, and I've enjoyed watching you get to use them and try new baits, and you know, I love sending you baits anyway, so it's just exciting, and I'm very excited. It's done great for SWIMBAITS.com, and super excited for the partnership.
Dude, I'm just gonna echo that. It has been an absolutely amazing journey that I've been on, and thank you so much for putting good baits in the boxes, and that hasn't changed this month. We have 2 right here that I'm excited to learn about, catch fish on, and I have a feeling these are both gonna be absolute fish catchers. So let's start first with the Hallelujah Lures, which is a tongue twister, by the way.
Yeah, this is Hallelujah's Bob's gill. It's named after his dad, Bob. You can see I already got my hook set in. It sets in perfectly, and it's the right size. You know, it's just like maybe, what, 4 inches, maybe 4.5 inches.
Yeah.
And even 1 to 2 pounders can slurp it up. The nice thing is you can skip it under docks, under trees. you know, throw it into cover. So it's a blast to fish with.
Now, that set aside, I know I'm going to catch fish on that. The glide bait category is one that, again, that's what I've been most excited about on this whole journey. And I'm not entirely sure if I've seen one out of the box that looks as good as this. So what's this bait all about?
This is the 150 shad done by Henry Barber. And first, it chops and glides incredible. You can do both, which I love. He has a very unique weighting system. And he's actually really young. He's just, I believe he graduated this this spring. So he's headed to college now, but he's only like 18 years old, does a phenomenal job. I mean, just the paint alone and the smoothness, the angles, the tail, it's just done flawlessly. I mean, this guy's going to be in the game for years and years and years to come. And I'm just super excited for you to try these. And I'm really stoked about Henry and Hallelujah. They're both good makers, and it's always a joy to watch you learn them as you go.
Well, I'm excited to get out of the Texas heat and up north. We'll see you guys up in the great state of Wisconsin.
That is right, folks. We are starting up north on this episode with the Hallelujah Lures soft plastic bluegill. And John in our phone call told me I could skip this thing under docks. And I said, northern docks, say less. You know, actually, I'm gonna try a 7.6 medium heavy, still in the Signature Series lineup, but I feel like I should be able to skip, especially from further distances into these docks. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this thing swims in the water. And with our first cast, let's see how this thing looks in the water. Yeah, boot tail is kicking. The bait does not wobble nearly as much as I thought it would, and I guess I shouldn't, expect it to. It's not a glide bait. Honestly, it's a pretty rigid bait, even though the paddle tail is going in the back. Oh, it kind of drifts though. Interesting, if I'm reeling it and then I pause it, it doesn't fall over on its side. It kind of like drifts forward, almost like a dying bluegill would. Quite interesting. And I think the hook that I chose gives me enough clearance if one was to bite down on it. Yeah, that's enough. Let's see how she skips. Oh, indeed does skip very well. How sick would that be? Just first skip in there, donk. Stinking swing on a 7-pounder. Nah, that's Wisconsin, probably not a 7-pounder. So a few things that I have working against me today on this body of water. You can tell the water is not all that clear, and I would actually argue and say, yes, it is. It's just full of all kinds of algae right now. So yeah, the clarity is not great, but it still is really clear water. I may dip one of the tails in chartreuse, maybe. You gotta be kidding me. That was a pike. A northern. Our first bite on this was a northern. I totally didn't think of the possibility that I'm gonna catch some northerns on this thing. So hey, that might happen. Okay, so it's natural enough to get a game fish to bite. That's good. But as I was saying, the other things that are in the way of my success potentially today are the fact that this is like a major pleasure boat lake. I did not know that when I selected this one to come fish. I would have gone somewhere else if I had known. Because even on a Thursday, there are a gajillion boats bebopping around. Although with that being the case, these fish are probably really used to boats. So probably actually comes to my advantage as far as dock fishing, because these fish are used to seeing all kinds of boats around their home. Ooh. No way, no way. That was insane, that was insane. Holy cow. I gotta pause. Well, first of all, success. I sent this bass to the dang moon. He followed it out from the dock, ate it right at my feet, and I absolutely gave him the business, almost sent him straight to Michigan. I cannot believe that I got stinking 2.5-pounder 3 minutes in. Thank you, little girl. Holy cow. That gets me jacked up. So there goes the potential theory that a fish can't see my bait today because of all the algae in the water. That's not true. I was reeling it in and I paused it right here, expected him to turn around and go back to the dock, and he just goes gulp. But one thing that's already happened is that the nose tore just a little bit. So I'm gonna dry it off, get some super glue and kind of weld this thing back together while I compose myself. Gosh darn it, my super glue is out. That's not good. No, I have no more. Wow. Well, I think I can still get 2 or 3 more fish out of this thing. Oh, y'all can't see that. Sorry for the horrible lighting, but I'm gonna take a yellow-green highlighter here and just kind of color a little bit of the tail. But I just figured doing this might help get the attention of a fish that's a little further away under the dock. But man, if they can follow it out and they think it's this realistic, I think I'm gonna catch more fish. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that I was gonna have to fish this thing for a while and then change the retrieve style, then maybe add some scent. But no, right off the rip, we catch a dang nice one. See, I'm not convinced that fish is catchable on a jig. I think the big size of this bluegill swim bait got that fish to come find it from however many feet away. Oh yeah, that's a good skip. And even though I've already caught one, I'm gonna keep trying different retrieves because that fish, that was a sight feeding fish. So whether it was pausing or moving in the column, that fish was probably gonna eat. So I gotta find out what the fish want that I can't see. Goodness, every wave that it hits acts like a ramp. I can't believe the amount of boats out here on a Thursday. Like, don't y'all work? Oh man, my bait is tearing. Wonder how many of these docks actually do have a fish under them and he just doesn't want a big swim bait. Like, there's probably some of both. Some fish that don't want to jig and do want a swim bait, and some that do want a swim bait and don't want to jig. I mean, look at that. After almost every cast, my screw lock comes out just a little bit more. Oh man, it tore. Uh-oh. You know, the question probably isn't, can this thing skip? It's, should I be skipping this? Because just, what, half an hour in, I've already torn the nose off. Well, found a new location. Hopefully that stays for a few more casts. All right, so synopsis so far on the Hallelujah Lures bluegill, which is a tongue twister, does not hold up to skipping, but does catch fish. Let's get ourselves our second one and see if I can't rig it a little differently or just learn to skip lighter. Hit the Mercury 250 Verado. Gotta hit the engine and warm it up. I'd love to find just a big flat of this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a largemouth, just about a 2-pounder, just ate me right here at the boat, and I totally missed him because I wasn't watching, which definitely makes me inclined to fish the shallower side of the dock because that's where the grass is. And you know, as I'm mentioning all the things that I'm seeing with my eyes, I would not be seeing them without polarized sunglasses. So y'all know, here on the channel, I work with Amphibia Eyegear. They're an awesome company. The sunglasses float and they're made of just really, really high quality polarized lens material. So I will have my discount code TRF20 in the exact pair of sunglasses that I like to wear in my videos linked down in the video description. If you're trying to just fish in general, but especially swim bait fish in clear water, you need to have polarized sunglasses. I mean, I'm not even gonna fight you on that, I'm right. And if you're gonna get some, you might as well get a pair that floats. Gosh, I just got absolutely attacked. What is that? What is that? A bass, out in the open, on the outside of the dock. What? Wow, that is multiple bites now I've gotten just fishing it around the outside of the docks. So I'm not entirely sure if these fish are shade focused. I think they're more like bluegill area focused. And that was a nice one. That was like a 3+ pounder. Well, I think I'm gonna focus a little bit less on skipping it every single time and just fishing it around good areas, good shallow grass. If I see areas that have bluegill beds, I'll fish it. I'll throw it around the edges and the outside of docks. But just to preserve what one swim bait I have left, I'm probably not gonna skip the rest of the day, at least entirely. There's one. Oh no! Oh, I missed him and he tore it. Come on. Oh, had an absolute donk under that dock and he tore my swim bait. Well, let's see if I can put it on again. At this point, I wish I was fishing around open water. I think it would last longer. So I feel like my chances of just winding around and catching one on this in this area are probably better. But also, there's already more stuff floating.
Over the next 3 hours, I tried countless spots with the Bob's bluegill and never got another fish to bite. The water clarity kept getting worse and worse. It didn't seem to matter whether I was fishing shallow or deep around the docks, and the fish just didn't eat until I got back to the exact same stretch I missed one on.
Oh my gosh, there was one. There was one. There was one. Out when he stinking tore it up. Gosh, where's my wacky rig? Well, it's in, but there's no way that's gonna swim right. Coincidence that I get a bite right when I get back to the same exact area that had the best grass, the best water clarity, and I got a bite earlier right here. None of that's coincidence.
Well, at this point, to me, it was obvious that that lake I chose on that day was not good for a soft swim bait, really of any kind, and so I took my time and my talents with the bluegill to Texas for day number 2.
Well, day number 2 is here for the Hallelujah Gill, and like I mentioned, I just was not happy with my results on day 1. That's how fishing goes, but you know what? I make this series, I can put these baits on as many days as I want. So we're on a kind of standard neighborhood pond today, got a good grass edge running around the whole thing with several different types of vegetation, and I'm just gonna slow wind this thing around, no skipping, nothing to tear the bait up, hopefully besides some giant bass. So it could be another bad day, who knows? Oh, no way. I've got one. I've got one. Holy cow. I just saw a blob out there and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cast at it. And he choked the gill on the way down. Oh my goodness. We're starting off both fishing days absolutely unreal. Can we continue it? We'll see. But for just a 2-pounder to eat the bait like that, just absolutely down at the hatch, gorgeous summertime fish, honestly a lot healthier than I would expect a fish of this time of the year to be. And that fish looked much bigger on scope, so I gotta look for much bigger blobs if I'm gonna scope it. Again, the whole goal of today was to not do that. I just happened to see one, so of course I'm gonna cast at it. And you know what? Seeing that fish eat it almost like a standard soft plastic or a jig makes me wanna fish this like a standard soft plastic or a jig, not like a swim bait. Maybe I'm supposed to kind of stroke it off the bottom and then let it sink back down, almost like a bluegill that's kind of coming up and then falling back to the bottom, coming up and then falling back down. There we go. Yes, sir. Oh, darn it. Although I'll admit that wasn't a good hook set, but that's 2 bites out deep, fishing the Hallelujah gill like a stinking football jig offshore. That's crazy. It's like those offshore bass see a bluegill falling on their face and they just can't resist it. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right. Just like the first bass I caught in Wisconsin doing this, he came out of the water. Look at that. Not even 2 pounds, 1.5 pounds, and he got it down the face. So this thing can catch fish. You just got to get it around him. And maybe I picked up slightly better spot today. I have gotten 3 bites in like an hour. So that definitely makes me feel better about myself. Oh, I had him. Oh, oh no, I had a bite. Man, I'm just fishing it like a dang hair jig. Crank, pause, let it drift back down. Gosh, if I was fishing this around bluegill beds in like May or early June, oh, I'd be smoking them doing this right now. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes, sir. Get over here, Mr. Grass Edge Fish. You are absolutely skin and bones, my friend. That is not a fat fish, but hallelujah, he got it. You, my friend, need some creatine. And it looks like the nose is tearing a little bit, but hey, we've made it, what? 4 fish and 7 or 8 bites in. That is much more normal for this style of bait as opposed to when I was skipping it. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. This bait gets stinking bit, but in a kayak, it's a bad idea. There we go. Oh, that feels bigger. That feels bigger. Biggest one of the day. Just cranked it off the bottom. Finally was I was gonna say it was in a better hook set position. Ah! I say we call it quits for the Hallelujah today. Absolutely tore up. Look at the teeth marks on that bait right there. Goodness.
Now in this series, I like to wait till I get on the water to have a first genuine on-camera reaction to the action of any glide bait or swim bait I'm throwing, but the Henry Barber 150 is such a gorgeous bait, I couldn't resist, so I tied it on, went to the neighborhood pond where I live, and let me tell you, this thing, while being advertised as just a choppy glide bait, does not have a bad way to retrieve it. Of course, choppy glide, it looks amazing in the water, super enticing, hardly ever rolls over, but even for a 6-inch glide, a 2-ounce bait, it can glide slowly really well. Now, even though this bait is absolutely gorgeous, it is still August in the state of Texas, which is one of the worst months to catch a bass. The fish are just tired of seeing lures all summer long, and they are hot. So we were out here at one of my favorite ponds in town. It is early morning. My chances are the highest they're gonna be of catching one on this thing, but of course, it's still bass fishing, and it's still swim bait fishing, so who knows?
Goodness. And the fact this guy is like 18 or 19 years old who makes these baits, impressive. Now we do have a decent amount of snodgrass on the bank today, but the good news is the fish are not even close to being on the bank. They're probably gonna be a good 20 to 30 feet off at least, and heck, I may make some casts out into the middle that are actually productive today. Now, with it being absolutely 0 wind, hurts my glide bait chances a little bit. I like to have a little bit of wind on the water, but these fish are smart, and that also hurts my chances. But as expected, we do have some grass in here, so probably can't let it sink as much as I wanted. And I didn't mention this bait is a slow sink, and honestly, a little faster of a slow sink than most ones that I've tested in this series. So I guess that would make it a medium sink. Yuck. It's maybe harder than I thought, actually. Maybe I'll focus less on parallel cast down the bank and more onto like 45-degree ones into the middle, which forces me to fish slower, but maybe that's a good thing. Now, just like with every lure in bass fishing, you've got to figure out what type of retrieve the fish on that specific day want. So do these fish want a fast chop? Do they want a slow glide side to side? Do I need to cast it out there, let it sink almost all the way to the bottom, or are they suspended higher in the column? So because it is summertime and the fish are probably more oriented towards the middle, I am going to let it sink for about 10 seconds before I begin my retrieve. And so far doing that, I have not snagged anything off the rip. So I know it's deep enough to at least start that deep. If I let it get too close to the bank, that happens every single time. Maybe I'll try going even slower. Nah, too slow. And that happened. I gotta go a little faster. Now, if confidence is key in bass fishing, I've got it. This pond has good fish. I've caught them on a swim bait before. It's just, are they gonna bite today? I think so. Huzzah! Oh, no, oh my gosh, that was a bass. That was a bass. Oh, he swiped at it 10 feet from the bank. You gotta be kidding me, totally missed it. Oh man. Okay, so there are fish that are active enough to follow a glide and at least take a bite at it, but it's still August and I'm already hot. Oh, I've got one, I've got one, I've got one, yes sir, big one, big one. It feels big at least, or I've got a big piece of snodgrass. What do I have, what do I have? It's a bass, it's a bass, it's a bass. Yes sir, get your face in here, come on, come on, come on, yes sir! Boom! Oh, persistence pays off, baby. Just as I was saying, I saw a fish bust over there, wasn't paying attention, we got one on the barber. Surprisingly, a very bloody tail for being in August, but those sticky hooks got him right in the roof of the mouth, a little bit on the outside as well. And that right there is a beautiful first fish to technically complete this episode of Scaled Up. We're not done yet, baby. Super sick. See ya, girl.
Great fish.
Thanks, man. That was fun.
Mind if I hit the cove?
Go for it. I'm surprised you've been in the sun the whole time.
I know, I'm working toward the shade, right?
Go, you can go for the shade. We're going after different styles of fish.
That's gonna catch a big fish. That's a big bait.
I'm hopefully eliminating the small ones. That's the smallest one I want to get, you know.
And where's do you have a podcast?
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel?
Yes, Tyler's Reel Fishing. And that bite honestly was not even that good. It wasn't like a strong strike. It was just reeling, wasn't paying attention. All of a sudden, something's there and honestly felt like a big old piece of snodgrass, but it was not. And the rod that I've been recommending you guys throw in the last few Scaled Up episodes is my favorite, just kind of like bigger bait rod in general. It is the Lew's Signature Series 7.5 medium heavy. It's a Carolina rig rod, it says. And somebody asked recently why, if it only has a 1.5 ounce max lure rating, why I can throw 2 ounce baits on it. And to be honest, I probably shouldn't be, but I'm so comfortable with how this rod casts, how I can work it, and how I can fight a fish on it, that I'm fine being a little bit underpowered. Like when I cast, it does feel a little bit too flimsy, but when I'm actually retrieving it and fighting a fish, I feel really, really comfortable. So maybe like 2.5 to 3 ounces, I want a bigger rod, but for the 2 ounce and below glide category in regular, you know, top hook swim bait, a weedless type thing, I love this rod so much. And as always, I will have it linked down in the video description with the 20-pound fluorocarbon I'm throwing, and this time just the standard regular old speed spool, whose gears maybe couldn't hold up to fishing a 2 ounce glide bait over 3 to 4 years time, but at least right now it still feels plenty strong. Come on, baby. Yeah! And big mama, come to papa. Well, with that last cast, we are done with the Henry Barber at pond number 1 today, but I've got one more place I want to go because I'm not satisfied by just catching one fish and having 2 followers. I'm glad, I'm grateful, but this bait is too good to not keep trying. Gang, gang, baby. Oh no, stuck on my first cast. It's not a good sign. We good. Oh, stuck again. I gotta get back in the shade. Oh, stuck again. I'll just pass under you. Goodness, how many bottles of Fireball are the anglers drinking around here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 17. 17 bottles of Fireball, wow. The fishing must really stink around here. Oh, do I have one? Oh, no way. No way, what do I have? Oh. Plastic bag with holes in it. That fooled me. Now the technique that I'm doing here, I call it speed gliding, where I'm just taking a piece of structure, this here being the side of the retaining wall, and I am in no way trying to go slow to finesse these fish. I am just working my bait as close as I can to the side of the wall. Oh man. And this bite can be really fun when the fish are near the wall, but if they're not there, you're going home skunked.
And that is exactly how I ended up skunked to end the day. Now, all things considered, this was a successful episode of Scaled Up, but I think, once again, I really felt what it's like to be a swim bait fisherman in that I can't just roll up to a pond and catch 5 or 6 fish, even on a super good looking bait like this one. And that's honestly been one of the hard things about this series, but also super rewarding, is that I get to make videos about something that's really difficult, and when it all comes together and I find success, it feels that much better. So with that, another episode of Scaled Up is here and gone. Now, I didn't forget about the giveaway winners. Last episode, I gave away 2 of the swim baits I was throwing, and the 2 winners in order are Chad Teeter 9486, that was his comment right there. Again, all these were random comments selected. Chad, send me an email, trfexec@gmail.com, and you will get to decide which of the 2 swim baits you want. And then Mystic Crabs, that's your comment. You are also the second winner, and whatever swim bait he doesn't want is the one you're gonna get. So huge thanks to swimbaits.com for making this series possible. Again, make sure to check out the swim baits that I used in today's video and all the ones from previous episodes and maybe future episodes down there in the links in the video description. They are the sole sponsor of the series, and they make it happen. So if you shop and don't use those links, you're not helping us out here. But overall, I'm just so excited for you guys. What are we, 5 episodes in? We've got some awesome episodes to come. Matter of fact, I've started filming some of the future ones, and you're not gonna wanna miss them. Hey, if you wanna watch the previous one, I will have it linked, clickable up here in this corner, and my entire 200 pond series. If you like the bank fishing aspect, actually, I've been throwing more and more swim baits from the bank. That'll be up here in this corner. My name is Tyler. As always, it's a pleasure, and we'll see y'all next time right here on Scaled Up.